Today's video is more of a public service or an announcement, and I want to talk about fast food chains and their hamburgers and how pitiful they're getting. Now, some of these on this plate, you're going to know the fast food chains, if not all of them, but the first one should be relatively obvious if you're familiar with White Castle. Now, this is a White Castle, aka goat burger, mystery meat. Nobody has any idea what kind of meat this really is, although I'm sure they claim it's real beef, but White Castle is really thin, and we expect a White Castle to have hardly any meat, and we expect them to be small. We're going to do something you probably should never do, especially at the dinner table, and that is expose and measure the meat. Now, the meat on this White Castle is literally only about 1/4 of an inch thick. We expect that. We expect these to be pretty much really nothing but a lot of bread, a little bit of meat, and you have to eat like 4 or 5 of them to get full. Well, unless you're my friend Adam, he has to eat like 20, but that's regardless the point here. The other day I went to McDonald's and I bought a hamburger, and I was sadly disappointed because if you take a look at their meat, and we're going to do something else that you're not supposed to do with your meat, is we're going to pull it out here and we might play with it a little bit, but we're going to measure this one. And if you look, that literally is less than 1/4 of an inch thick. And you say to yourself, well, it's got a bigger circumference than a White Castle patty. No, it really does not. It's a little bit bigger, but really not much bigger than a White Castle. So McDonald's, I don't know what's going on. I don't know what your game is. I know these things are only $1, but I'd pay $2 for a little bit of meat. Now I want to talk to you about this one. Now this one is a Wendy's sandwich, and I actually really can't complain about it. I actually bought this just because the old lady on TV used to say, hey, where's the beef? And I thought she was funny. But we're going to take a look at it. Now my understanding is she's done kicked the bucket. She's no longer around, but if you measure the beef, it's actually almost 1/2 inch thick. Now why in the world Wendy's decided to think inside the box and cut their patty square, I have absolutely no idea. But you know what? I'll take it. Apparently nobody can get anything right, and the best we can do is a thick patty that happens to be square that doesn't even remotely fit the bun. But you know what? I will gladly purchase this hamburger over these other 2 hamburgers, if that's what you want to call them.